Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. And we have got quite a few topics on this Thursday afternoon news show. Very busy day for the channel. We dropped an early morning video on Raheem versus Marcus Rashford, plus a comparison to our other wingers, and a link is in the chat for that. So if you've got nothing to watch after the show, please do go and check that out. We've also got James from the Puppeteers on for an end of the transfer window special tonight at 7 o'clock. You definitely don't want to miss that one. We'll get as much information out of him as we possibly can, and plus how he kind of assesses how Ineos have done since they've taken over. Ugarte official today, medical complete. Expected an announcement at some point, I think today. So I don't know what time it's going to be. Maybe it'll be 5, 6 o'clock. But yeah, very interested to see if they've done like an interview with them, similar to the late and Mazraoui. Also, Sterling back in the mix for Man United. There's some talks ongoing. It seemed like Juventus was starting to push the ball, and now it seems like Chelsea are going back in. Like, it's very level race at the minute, so I definitely want to discuss the dynamics of that. And also, we had the live Carabao Cup draw last night at about 10:15. And we got Barnsley at home to Old Trafford. So we'll touch on that as well. And then there was something towards the end about Player of the Month, I think it was, that we'll kind of gloss over. So yeah, welcome to the chat, everyone. Make sure you get your opinions in. Smash a like on the video. Drop us a follow on TikTok if you're watching live on there. And let's get into these stories. And so we'll start with the Ugarte first, actually. I was going to start with the Sterling story. So, Manuel Ugarte has successfully passed his Manchester United medical. Official announcement today. And believe it or not, at 1:45 last night, 1:45, Romano is still up. And he put, Manuel Ugarte day at Man United. I just thought, absolute crazy bastard. Like, that guy never sleeps. He must have 4 hours sleep tonight and drink all the coffee on the planet. But yeah, he was staying up to date on that. I suppose it's probably why he's so successful. And then also coming in from Sky Sports, Man United are confident that Manuel Ugarte will be registered by midday on Friday to be available for Sunday's game against Liverpool, which is fantastic. Now, I've always been of the opinion that he won't start. I still fully believe that he won't start. It is official, yeah, if you're asking the chat, yeah. I don't think he'll start, but I think if he's in the squad, and let's say it's a tight game, it's 1-1, it's end-to-end, and, Casemiro's getting a little bit leggy, or Manu's getting a little bit leggy like they were in the last game, bringing Ugarte on and like, right, get in there, get stuck in. Sam described it last night as like a baptism of fire, and I think he's absolutely spot on with that. Coming into a game against Liverpool on Sunday at Old Trafford, there isn't a bigger game for United than that. There just simply isn't in terms of the teams that they're facing at home. So you will be well received. You'll have the best... the best fans pushing you as much as we possibly can, screaming your name. Yeah, excited for that. Very, very excited. And if he can come on and do a bit of damage in 20 minutes, then yeah, I'll be excited. Very, very excited. But yeah, I think it's going to suit our style down to a T. I thought it was an interesting update. So this is coming in, I think it was from Duncan Castles who initially put it out, right? So just have a listen to this, yes. For all the people who were... It was mainly Liverpool fans because of the Zubamendi thing. But for all the people who were saying, oh, PSG have only sold you Ugarte because of this and that, and they didn't even want him and blah, 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 just open your ears and have a listen to this, okay? So, this is important to underline for Man United supporters that during the discussions, PSG's negotiating team told United's recruitment team that they did not want to lose the player. They were only selling because Luis Enrique wasn't using the player to the extent they would have liked, and the player was pushing for a move, and they expected him to be one of United's best players down the line. Whether United's recruitment team believed that or not, I think that's actually genuinely true from the PSG end, and that's from Duncan Castles. So yeah, for anyone who's saying PSG only selling him because he's not good enough, or they don't want him, or they're forcing him out, and blah, 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 Luis Enrique didn't want him because of the style, not because he isn't a good player. I've always said this consistently for the past 2-3 weeks, that he wants a deep line playmaker. The way we play, we are... As much people might not like it, but it is carnage. It is a lot of energy. It's a lot of end-to-end vertical football. Very high press, very direct. So I think Ugarte is going to fit right into that because he is a breaker-up of play. He is a destroyer. He'll get about the pitch like an N'Golo Kante, like a Mascherano, like a Gattuso. So, yeah, look, I think it might be a bit of a push for him to start, like I said. But we'll have to see when they seem pretty confident they're going to get him in before the registration line. I think when we signed De Ligt and Mazraoui, I think we signed him on a Tuesday, was it, officially? Excuse me. And then I think we registered him before Thursday, and then obviously he was in the squad for the Fulham game, wasn't he, on Friday? We play Liverpool on Sunday. So I imagine the registration's for Friday, early Friday, usually. We're getting that done today, and then he could train with the team, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and then, yeah, be part of the squad. I think you'll see that from Ten Hag anyway. I'd be surprised if he says, nah, he's not going to be in training. He's not going to be part of the squad. It's going to take a couple of weeks to integrate, but I suppose stranger things have happened. In football, but this position in particular, I'm fascinated by how he's going to do. The other ones, I'm like, yeah, De Ligt, I'm interested to see how he develops, how he adapts. Can he live up to his reputation, at previous clubs? And will he have a good partnership with Sandro? There's interesting things there. Majora, I think you've already seen what you're going to get with him. He's already an improvement on Wan-Bissaka going forward. From a technical aspect, receiving it under pressure, he's just a next level different, and I think people are happy now with the signing of Majari so far. I don't think he's had the toughest of tests, but he's going to come up against an informed Luis Diaz basically on Sunday, so we'll assess him then. Excuse me. So yeah, look, throwing right in there, I think he's going to become a key integral player to this squad. I think there's other ones like Yoro. How's he going to settle in? But we're not going to see him for a couple of months. Xerxes looks like he's got that ability. It's just, yeah, we brought in quite a different range of profiles, which is nice, and all under 25. So I'm quite happy with that. But it's a huge position to fill. You think about Michael Carrick, for example, never really replaced him. Casemiro, when he first came in, had a fantastic season, and everyone was raving about him, including myself, by the way. But there was no longevity in that. If Ugarte hits the ground running with United, he's 23. You get the next 5-6 years out of him, and then that you don't have to keep worrying about that position and constantly in the back of your mind. So yeah, United won't get top 4. Okay, that's your opinion, pal. Who is your prediction for Player of the Year for United? I'll go Ahmad. Why not? Why not? Smash like on the video, guys, if you are in the chat, please. Afternoon, everyone. Right, I'm going to go to the comments and see how you are all doing. Are we excited about Ugarte? Yes or no? Nick, did you like the 2-pack hologram, branded celebrity holograms? There we go. Another brand deal there from Elite. Steph saying taking points off Scousers is bare minimum required. Well, we're going to have, like I said, it's been very busy on the channel today. We've dropped the Sterling versus Rashford video at 10 o'clock this morning for members. Obviously live currently at the moment. Then we're live at 7 with James talking all transfers and the transfer window. And then tomorrow you've got the press conference. We've got a live afternoon show, and then you've got the Liverpool preview for Sunday as well. So yeah, very excited to get into them. And yeah, busy. Sancho is a real loss, wasted by Manuel. Good transfers otherwise, but you can't do Sterling. You're not gonna bait me with that, mate. I'm not buying at that because that's a poor comment. I can't stand all the PR photo shoot shit. Just want to see new players on the pitch. Hope Ugarte features on Sunday. To be honest, I don't mind the interviews. I quite like listening to them, and obviously some of the questions are like, so what's your first thought of Man United, or when did you first realise you loved United, and them kind of things. I get that. It is very like MUTV kind of, everything's fancy, special. But I do like listening to them. Drop some likes, people. That's from Sean, 26 watching, 11 likes. Don't be a Sancho. There we go. Richard, I hope you're okay as well. I don't know if you're watching this, mate, but Richard's got COVID, so I hope he's good. I hope everyone else is well as well. I know there's a few people. Macmillan, I hope you're good, mate. Afternoon, Nick. I hope you're all good. Great news. Hopefully he's in the mood to smash a few dippers at the weekend. Not if you're on about chicken dippers or Liverpool, but I agree. Trippier's retired from international football. Yeah, I think it was Southgate going. That was nailing his coffin, wasn't it, to be fair? I'm really excited about Ugarte. Have Vickery calling him a Javier Mascherano regen, and he knows the South American market big time. Yep, absolutely. I was actually listening to him this morning on Sky Sports. I think it was like a replay of what they've done. But yeah, if I'm going to trust anyone, it'd be a South American journalist. And he's saying, he's going to fill that hole that United have. In the opener against Fulham, we saw the issues that we saw from last season still a little bit there. And Ugarte will eat up ground, mate. Like, covers a lot of ground. So, excited to see him. Look, not every transfer that you make statistically works out. We've seen that with you go to any team, they've had transfers where they've spent a decent amount of money and they've flopped. Also, probably more than a lot of people, and Chelsea as well. But we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe some of it, maybe De Ligt won't work out. Maybe, one of the others. But I think as far as I'm concerned, I like the signings that we've brought in. I like why they've brought them in. I like what I've seen. But we have to really give them 5, 6, 7 games before you can start to see a proper, what they're about properly and when they get up to speed. Because, of course, the majority of them have never played together before. You know, it's a huge investment. It's 5 players coming in. They need time to settle down. They're probably going to get that. That's why this kind of assessment period now, from when we started the season to the international break, I'm not really judging it strongly, although I have been quite reactionary and passionate about the performances. Wait until you return from the international break and then the Europa League starts, and that's when it really kickstarts. This is just early stages for a lot of people. You had the late delays coming back from the Euros. You've had the transfer window obviously ongoing, so I'll really assess the team when we get into like September, October. That's when I'll take a look at it. So yeah, I'd like to see him using Gravenberch as a chew toy on Sunday. Yeah, what a great comment that is, by the way. Yeah, use Gravenberch as a chew toy. Thoughts on Liverpool Chiesa deal? I mean, I touched on it yesterday. I think he's a great player, but he's had as many injuries as anyone I can think of. He's one of the most injury-prone players ever. He had a really bad ACL injury that kept him out for ages. He's missed over 100 games for Juventus. So he's a fantastic player. I imagine he's going to be a backup at Liverpool. And for 10 million quid, you can't really argue. It's a good deal, isn't it? I think. So it's rotation. It's rotation. Here's what it is. Do you think Sekou Kone will get unveiled on the website? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. With the youngsters, I'm kind of like, I want to take the pressure off him. Just let him, it's a very different kind of climate to what he was used to, different environment. Let him settle in, let him do the thing, and then we'll, let him have a couple of years at the club, and then we can start to really discuss, how effective he's going to be. Excuse me. I think his limited passing is overplayed. His PSG was win the ball and get it to Fabian Ruiz or Vitinho. That's it. I'm very amused by Chelsea. They're facing a 3-5 ban from all European competition. Their hotel sale did not help them in the eyes. Yeah, so UEFA don't allow profits coming in from other companies or third-party companies or something like that and class it as revenue. So Chelsea could be in a bit of shit there. But let's be honest, is anyone surprised at all? With the amount of deals that Chelsea have been doing, everyone's been sat there, and a lot of people are going, no, they're fine. They've got these long contracts, 8-9 years. It's amortization. It's absolutely fine and blah, blah, blah. Listen, they're doing something. They're doing something, I'm telling you. So I'll be here for the party when Chelsea get fucking relegated and City get relegated. I'm here for it, mate. Trust me. I think it'd be like Shaqiri for them, just comes on every now and again. You ain't even from Manchester, that's from Zach. I'm not from Manchester. My accent doesn't sound like it's from Manchester, apparently. Clearly, Zach's not from Manchester, because he's never heard a Mancunian accent before. Born right near Hope Hospital, mate, so, yeah. Random guy with a super chat. You're a legend, bro. I love you. Thank you. Can't stay. Wanted to say, wish you all the best. What a guy. What a guy he is, honestly. He missed 57 games in the 21-22 season through injuries. Jesus Christ, man. That is crazy. If you are on TikTok, by the way, hop over onto YouTube. We've got a giant community in there. A lot more interactive. I occasionally do the TikTok live, but predominantly is YouTube. So hop over on there, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get back into the show. Now, should we talk about Raheem Sterling? Because this is a thing that is ongoing for a bit. And we had quite a few updates last night, late on. Around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it was all popping off from the Guardian Sport. We've had one from Graham Bailey. We had one from DiMarzio. So, have a listen to this. Jadon Sancho is holding out for an offer from Chelsea. He prefers to sign for them over Juventus. The situation is open, and Juventus have not given up. Juventus have made a dry loan offer to Manchester United for Jadon Sancho. The loan fee... What the fuck is a dry loan offer? Anyone know? Please, genuinely, in the chat, let me know. The loan fee is worth 7-8 million euros, including bonuses and partial coverage of the player's salary. United have made it clear to Raheem Sterling's representatives that his wages at United would be capped at a maximum of £200,000 per week, and he would have to accept being a squad player. Sterling has agreed to this in principle with United. Look, I've seen figures floating about 150, 200k, whatever it is. The one thing I want to know is how long will the deal be? Are you going to sign him on a 5-year contract, Raheem Sterling, when he's played so much football? Even as a teenager, Sterling played loads of football for like Liverpool. Played relentless games for City. He's got a lot of minutes in the tank. He's got good stats in relation to the Premier League. And I dive more into that in the show we did this morning. Show we put out this morning, sorry. But I don't know. It's kind of like, well, it's two options, I think, realistically, where it can go. It's you either loan him to Juventus without an obligation and they pay some of his wages and a fee, or you do a swap deal, you take a little bit of a risk and a gamble on Sterling coming in. A 29-year-old, he's 30 in a couple of months. If you sign him on a 4 or 5 year contract, it's going to be quite heavy. Maybe they get it down to a 2-3, which I'd be more happy with. I think it's a risk either way in it. In an ideal world, you want to sell him and you want to get money and you want to get his wages off the books, but it just doesn't seem we can push that out. I know, I don't know why my voice keeps going, sorry. It's like I'm getting emotional about it. I'm not, I don't care. I want Sancho to go, I want him to be sold. But I think, obviously it's going to go right down to the wire. You've got two teams pushing for him, competing against each other. What's the best deal? That's the question. I don't know, I'll leave it up to you guys. What do we think? Would you rather him go to Chelsea for a swap deal and then Sterling come the other way? How would you feel about Sterling joining United? Or would you rather just send him out on loan to Juventus, get a bit of a loan fee, and then reassess the situation next summer? It's a big talking point amongst fans, isn't it? Just a last bit on this as well, which I thought this was from Fabrizio Romano. So Manchester United are discussing internally whether to take Raheem Sterling in the swap deal. We know that, blah, blah, blah. Eric Ten Hag, the board, and Dan Ashworth are all considering the option. So they're in conversations about this. I've said about the winger situation many times before. We have a lot of wingers. We're not crying out for him. We're not desperate. We have Garnacho, Rashford, Ahmad, Antony, and Sancho technically still in the books. But Sancho goes, we've got 4 wingers, 2 in each position. And Bruno and Mount, who can play out there. And probably Xerxes as well, who can play out there. So I'm not desperate for another winger to come in. I don't necessarily think we need to replace Sancho. But I would rather have Sterling than nothing, maybe. I think the experience he could bring is really, really valuable to the youngsters, to Ahmad, to Garnacho. But at the same time, this guy's played for City and he's played for Liverpool. So there's a bit inside me where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't sit right with me. I'd rather sell Sancho, buy a left-back. But it's not going to happen. So, look, I'd love to see what Ten Hag thinks about this situation because obviously it's not a player that was on his radar before this transfer when no one expected this. There isn't one single person on the planet who thought United are going to sign Raheem Sterling. Not one. So it's a curveball. It's come out of nowhere. And sometimes these transfer windows can just offer something where you're like, oh my God, what on earth is going on? But yeah, it might happen. It could well happen. It's not like paper talk. It's not nonsense. You have credible people, Romano, Ornstein, Damarcio, loads of people covering this and saying that this potentially, like, Sancho's definitely going to leave. So it's either Juve or Chelsea. Maybe, who knows, with the way this window's going, someone else could just randomly pop into the mix. You don't know, do you? So as long as we get a fee for him, or we get someone in return, I think that's what I would be happy with. But the Sancho situation's never been ideal anyway since he joined the club. You chased him for 2 years. And people are like, oh, I can't wait to get him. He's going to be a game changer. Finally, a right winger, and it just never, ever, ever worked out. He's never really had a handful of consistent great performances for United. And some people might joke saying, well, a lot of the United players haven't. But even Maguire, who we bought for 80 million, was obviously a massive mistake at the time when we did it. Even Maguire has had a period of form where he looks good and he's been consistent. Sancho never, ever had that at United. Never once. So I think he just needs to move to another club. A different environment, different set of players, appreciated maybe more by the manager, tactically better fit for him. We've always said about Jadon Sancho, he's that kind of guy. He needs people moving around him. He needs, like the setup at Dortmund. First and foremost, you had Erling Haaland hitting the box consistently. You had Hakimi playing behind him, or Thomas Munoz, who's aggressive right backs and like to get on the overlap. And Chelsea have a similar situation with Gusto and Reece James. So I think it'd be a good move for him personally. I can see why he would want to stay in England maybe and go down to London because he's from London. He's a Chelsea fan, I believe. So in that kind of sense, in that way, it makes sense. But it's difficult to do because there's so much money involved. I mean, I saw a report coming out that Chelsea owe Raheem Sterling £70-odd million in bonuses and wages. How the fuck do you sort that out? But then if Sterling's willing to take a pay cut and be a squad player in order for him to play football, because Maresca's already come out and he's already said he is not going to get a minute of football if he stays here, which is very strong by a manager, by the way. Very, very strong. So Sterling might just think, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go to another club. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take a wage cut and I'm gonna show you why you shouldn't have got rid of me. But they've got Chelsea like us, even more so. They've got more depth than us. Mudryk, Neto, Madueke, Palmer, Nkunku, Jackson, João Felix, like wingers and attacking players for days. So that's baffled me slightly, that one with Sancho, but it is what it is. Let us know your thoughts. I'll get into the comments now. And then I'm going to discuss the Carabao Cup third round draw. How exciting. Yeah, we drew Barnsley, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Right, let's have a look. There's a 200k cap at United-wise. Yeah, potentially. I mean, De Ligt took a wage cut, didn't he? And Majari's on like 150s, I believe, although it's not been officially released, their wages, I don't think. Euro's on 100. Xerxes on 70-ish. Trying to think who else. Ugarte, I have no idea. Can't even speculate about Ugarte's wages. I don't even know how much he was on at PSG, to be honest with you. I imagine pretty decent, like 150s, 200. So, yeah. Hopefully we'll get some details on that. Man United sponsor Sky's deadline day drama. Has there been any hint of the fee they want for Sterling? We aren't doing a swap in traditional sense in today's PSR world. I don't know, Jonathan. I don't know. I thought it would be a straight swap. I didn't think there'd be a fee involved because, like you said, with both sides of the coin, Sancho wants to move, frosty relationship with the manager. Sterling wants to move, frosty relationship with the manager. Both teams owe the players a lot of money. Sancho's down to 250 now because we didn't qualify for the Champions League. But even still, that's £1 million a month, which works out 12 million a year. And he's got a couple of years left on his contract. So that's like 24 million. Sterling, similar, as I mentioned before, the figures involved with him. So I don't know. That's why it could get a little bit sticky. How do you even begin to agree that, right? How do you say, well, this bonus I can't even, my brain isn't that greatly wired to deal with those kind of problems. That's why agents are involved and stuff. So it's difficult. And to do it in the next couple of days as well, because the window ends tomorrow, right? So I don't know. I think if I want to see a journalist ask Ten Hag a question about this. Obviously, Ten Hag's quite stubborn and he's quite firm, and we'll say how it is. He'll probably turn around and go, I'm not talking about another player. Sancho, if he stays for the squad, great. If we need to move him on, you'll get a political answer, but I think a journalist should poke him about that tomorrow. Højlund played wide left forward in Atalanta's system, I believe. Yeah, great channel runner. I could see him and Xerxes working really well together. A lot of fluidity in that front line. So, yeah, we've got plenty of options, which is always fantastic. And we couldn't always say that last thing he could be. Request to be talk. Window ends at 12 p.m. That's tomorrow, though, isn't it? Not today. Yeah. Pretty sure it's tomorrow. I want Sancho out of the Prem. Why would we give him to Chelsea when they're trying to finish top 4 like us? I think that's a good point. Branded Iron Brew drink. There we are. I had an Iron Brew for ages. Well, apparently that's really good for hangovers, Iron Brew. How true that is, I'm not sure. I don't think I could think of anything worse than drinking an Iron Brew first thing in the morning if I'm rough. I want like a water or apple juice or something. As Fergie once said about Real Madrid, he wouldn't sell them a virus. Same should apply to Chelsea. I really hope Erik Ten Hag changes it on Sunday. De Ligt for Maguire, Garnacho for Rashford and Xerxes for Mount. Apparently Mount injured again. I haven't seen much on that, but again, we'll get an update. So we're going to cover the press conference. We're going to cover, we're going to talk to the Liverpool game tomorrow as well. And then we're going to do some transfer deadline stuff. So busy on this channel. We're 23 subs of 6,700. So if there's anyone watching on TikTok and you want to become a part of a community, you love watching football content, transfer news, live watch-alongs, previews, guest interviews, all that stuff, then yeah, subscribe to the channel, Real Reds Talk. The bottom, I was going to say the bottom in the bottom right corner. There you go. Have that one. The fact that they're putting the Sterling was a childhood United fan narrative out there. How many times have you heard that, though? I believe he is, to be fair. Obviously grew up around Wembley, didn't he? But I'm pretty sure there was stuff about him being a United fan. I think he even said it when he was at City. So he probably is. And again, you'll get that narrative with, oh, loads of United fans are from London or whatever, blah, blah, blah. To be honest, I don't care where you're from. If you support the club, you support the club. You know, you've got Adam McCullough on Stretford Paddock, for example. I think he's from Wolverhampton or something, supports the club. You've got lads on the channel who are from India who support the club. I don't care where you're from. You support what you support. It is what it is. I don't know why I made that point, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Right, on to the Carabao Cup then. Our first game of the competition, third round, live at Old Trafford against Barnsley. Bloody Barnsley in the Carabao. Is that how they speak in Barnsley? Bloody Barnsley. Is it near Sheffield? I have no idea where it is. Let's look where Barnsley is. Bloody Barnsley. I'm probably going to be way off here, aren't I? Let's have a look. So it's near. Where the fuck is it gone? No, yeah. Between Sheffield and Leeds. It's actually not far from Manchester, to be fair, is it? Bloody Barnsley. I imagine they talk like that and eat chip muffin. Probably, I'm not sure. Is that how they talk? Chip bar, muffin, Barnsley. I bet someone in the chat from Barnsley is absolutely livid. Yeah, so we're playing Barnsley, basically. Slightly sidetracked there. Carabao Cup, do we have a genuine chance to win this? Are we excited at all for the trophy? It is the one in it that's, it kind of, in my opinion, it goes, oh, this is tough. Well, what we're in, obviously, it'll go Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, just because we won the FA Cup recently, and then the Carabao Cup. So it is the bottom of the pile. But as you've already seen with Ten Hag in his first 2 years, won the Carabao in his first year, won the FA Cup in his second year. What can we win on the third? Eh? Shiny trophy. What's going to come in? I started questioning myself when you speak about these tournaments. Why have United specifically been successful in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup? Because it's a conversation. Is it our style? Is it the fact we go to the end? The fact that we can counter-attack? Because we was very, very open last season. And you even saw in the Coventry game, my God, that was... You know, it's such fine margins in these tournaments. You think about that Coventry game, when they brought it back to 3-3, the chances that they missed towards the end of the game, and then the penalties, oh my God. And then the Liverpool game, you go 1 behind, you bring it back. You go 2 behind, you bring it back. You go behind again in extra time, you bring it back. And then Ahmad scores the winner, and you're like, fucking hell. And then you put in a lifetime performance against Manchester City. The Carabao Cup, when I can't remember as much. I think we played Villa in it. Obviously, we played Newcastle in the final, but I thought the performance against Man City in the FA Cup final was the standout in comparison to, like, the first half was good against Newcastle. You know, the goals from Rashford and Casemiro, but then they did that. You know, they looked dangerous, especially St. Maximin on the left hand side. But yeah, I'm curious because United have been very, very leaky, so they don't strike me really as like a tournament kind of team, like a Mourinho team who just keep it tight, 1 or 2-0 into the next round. It's just like, let's just fucking go. It's just carnage, end to end. Let's see who can win it. The City game is very different, but the Liverpool game was like that. That's one of the best games I've watched live, if not the best game I've watched. And the atmosphere at Old Trafford, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. The Old Trafford roar when Ahmad scored. Oh, and going into this game as well, it's going to be similar. Liverpool, obviously, it's not a tournament. It's not quarter final. It's a game in the Premier League, but still very, very important. And I always love a game against Liverpool. Always. So, yeah, excited for it, to say the least. Just need to see if we can replicate the performances that we've seen against Manchester City in the final on a consistent basis. I know that might be asking a lot. If you can do that, then you're going to win the majority of your games, because we was absolutely mustard against City. But we know we struggle with inconsistency. And I'm still a little bit concerned about that. I think that game against Liverpool is going to be really, really tough. I'm not going to dive into it too much because we've got the preview for it, but I think that's going to be a very tricky game because Liverpool have started well and they're dangerous on the counter-attack as well. And the onus is going to be on United to push forward, create chances and score. And I think we could get stung if we're not careful. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. This weekend's going to be so busy with football content. So to stay up to date, please do turn on that notification bell so you do not miss a thing when we do go live. Right, Cheers in the chat. Big up yourself, brother. I hope you're well. I don't think Juve want an obligation to buy with Sancho, as he's petulant, and having a loan with an obligation doesn't excite Juve. What if he flops? Sure, they see that and don't want that issue. But they do need a winger. They desperately need a winger. So do they have a plan B or a contingency plan? That's my question. If they can't get Sancho, who else are they going to bring in? You know? He's the X factor that they need, I think. I think he could be a good player for them. We should just play our under-21s against them, who beat them in Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Jesus Christ, I didn't even realise. I've never heard of that trophy in my life. Talking about Barnsley, we signed Tommy Taylor from Barnsley. Wow, what a throwback that is. Jesus. Yeah. I live in Sheffield, 25 minutes from Barnsley. Well, there we go. I knew there was going to be someone in the chat. After I did that accent, I was sat there thinking, oh, and just knew there was going to be something. It reminds me of Ron Atkinson days. Great cup team, lousy league team, and that's all about mentality and squad quality. Yeah, it's a great conversation, isn't it? Afternoon, guys. That's from Grayo. Hope you're well, Grayo. Branded dinners, chips and gravy. I don't think I could do an ad for chips and gravy. I'd have to do that accent. Who was it now? I went Blackpool once, very random story, and we went and got some sugar donuts, and the guy had like the strongest Brummie accent ever. And we was having a chat with him, and he was like, 5 sugar donuts, £2.50. I was like, and I couldn't really understand him at first. I was like, what? He went, 5 sugar donuts, £2.50. I was like, right, okay, yeah, no worries. And then he got talking about chippies or something, just like randomly, and he was talking about like, oh, you know what I love? Fish chips, mushy peas and gravy. And that has stuck in my head for 5-6 years, I'm going to say. So every time I think of chippy, because someone mentioned a chip barn there, a branded chips and gravy, I always think about that. Fish chips, peas, mushy peas and gravy. What do you say, gravy? It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Like Gabby Bonglaho. I think Terag's going to get sacked by the end of the window. I think he's going to get sacked. Don't know what it is. Fish chips and gravy. Any content tonight with Champions League draw, or is it Coronation Street on? Well, I won't be watching Coronation Street. I haven't watched soaps. I don't think I've ever consistently watched the soaps. It's just been one of those things that's like, you know, in the background. Sorry for anyone who's from Birmingham or the Midlands. That's just my accent. Juventus have already got a right winger on loan 4 days ago. Well, they still need more though, don't they? Clearly, if they're after Sancho. Will we win a trophy this season? What we feeling? That's from Shreyas. I think Europa League is on the cards, people. I do. It's just logical, innit? This is what's going to happen. You ready for this bold prediction? We've won the Carabao. We've won the FA Cup. Excuse me. We're going to win the Europa League. And then we're going to win the Premier League. That's what we're going to do. See what I'm saying? I was wrong. Juve have gotten 2 right wingers, Nico Gonçalves and Francis Concisco. Good Black Country meal, that. That's it, Jonathan. Nick, you're doing a live Europa League draw at 12 tomorrow. Yeah, I will. I'll include it in the news show, if that's what time it is. Yeah, no problem. Can do that. Like I said, I'm going to be so busy on this channel. There's going to be like 3 or 4 shows tomorrow, I'd imagine. So busy. Sancho's a left winger, Charlie, mate, but he only tells you once you signed him. I'm a Black Country lad, I don't care. Oh, there we go, Jonathan. That's what I mean. To be honest, I don't know where anyone's from. So I'm doing all these accents, and all from Barnsley or fucking, you know, Birmingham and whatever. I can't do other country accents, so I'll probably get cancelled for that. But I'm pretty good at, I reckon I've got a pretty solid portfolio of accents that I can cover. You know, there's 3 things I'm all right at life. Presenting, live shows, FIFA, and accents. And creative, I'd say. 3 or 4. That's what I'd give myself. Little feathers in my cap. Great burp. I always burp on it. Someone said that to me in the last show. I can't remember who it was. It was like, Nick, why do you always burp? I don't know. I know I've got kind of Pepsi here, but I just seem to... Maybe it's because I'm fast talking and I'm like, da-da-da, and like cans and... yeah, I don't, no idea. Can't tell you. Right, let's see if there's any live updates whilst we're live, just because I don't want to miss anything. There's a lot of news around Kieran Trippier. Jonathan Tah's still not moved. Oh my God, what on earth are Bayern Munich doing there? Atletico Madrid are looking at Sofian Amrabat as one of the options. Apparently Diego Simeone's pushing for him. Not an easy deal. Fenerbahce are offering a loan with the buy obligation Fiorentina want, while Athletic only want a loan move. Interesting. Yeah, Amrabat completely off the cards then. But we kind of all knew that anyway, didn't we? It's not like, oh, shocking, breaking news. Amrabat's not coming. Hartley hair impersonation from Pipkins. I have to be honest, Steph, I have never ever heard of that. Never heard of that. Nick Burp compilation coming out when we hit 10k. I tell you what, when we do hit 10k, Shreyas, we're going to do a massive show. We're going to pull all the strings together and do a huge show. So keep an eye out for that. Obviously, we're a bit off it in a minute. We're 2/3 of the way almost. But when we do hit 10k, there's going to be a massive, massive mega show. And yeah, and just a celebration for all you guys as well, because absolute legends who have helped us so much. I appreciate every single one of you, including obviously Shreyas, who's in the chat, who's always on the show. Sam, Chivy, Aaron, Adam, Dan, all the guys. Yeah, there'll be a huge celebration. But that's just to sit there and say, like, obviously people look at subscribers as like a vanity metric, basically. It doesn't necessarily mean you've been successful because you've got 10,000 subscribers, but just to say we started a channel from scratch and there's 10,000 people that have subscribed, it's, you know, it's a nice thing, and it's like you've achieved something at least in your life. You know, I'm not just nothing, basically. Pickings was scary, man. I've seen those puppets. Yeah, I've never heard of it. Never ever heard of it. I have to be transparent with you guys there. Thank you for the follows on TikTok. Thank you for the gifts as well. Really, really appreciate you guys. Hop over to YouTube. Check us out, man. Real Reds Talk. We're going to be live again at 7. Look, if anything gets announced, obviously we'll go live in between. There's no two ways about that. We'll do that. But for now, McMillan saying, Nick, what time is James from Muppets on tonight? 7 o'clock. As far as I'm aware. If it changes, we'll put it on Twitter. But I think he's jumping on at 7. So it'll be me, Sam, and James from the Muppeteers. And we're going to get a big transfer kind of overall view, how he thinks Ineos has done, what we think in general, just a kind of conversation about the business, and how we feel ahead of the new season. And it's something interactive towards the end. So do come and join us for that. Burp along, yeah. I think it'll be a very, very good show, very in-depth. And yeah, I always enjoy him with James. So thank you very much. I'm rambling on now. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to just ramble to a camera. Champions League draw tonight. Also, busy day of football. Yeah. Next few busy days. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. Smash like on the video for us. Go and check out. I did put... where is it gone now? I put the video in for... So there's any members in the chat. And if you want to become a member, just click the join button next to the notification bell, like £3 a month. Just help support the channel, and we put it back into the channel to make it better. Here's another burp coming. Excuse me. Yeah, the link there for Sterling versus Rashford. So if you've got no content to watch and you've got a spare 10 minutes, check it out. Let us know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, yeah? Take it easy. Real Reds Talk legends.